Hi friends, this is Miss Muller. We are on Purple Sort 2 and we're looking at prefixes. Our prefixes this week are pre, for, even though it has an E at the end, that word is for, post, and after. So I want to talk a little bit about what these prefixes mean first, and then we'll go and get started, okay? So pre, P-R-E, it means before, like before you do something, before. And this word for, F-O-R-E, also means before. So pre and for mean before. And then post and after both mean after. So pre means before, for means before, post means after, and after actually just means after. I want you to go ahead, just like you did last week, I want you to find these prefixes. And I want you to pause me and I want you to go ahead and underline all the prefixes you see in all of your words. So when you see the word prepare, you're going to underline the P-R-E. Okay? So go ahead and pause me and underline all your prefixes first. Okay. So now that you've underlined all your prefixes, we're going to go ahead and get started with our sort. Our first column is pre. So go ahead and find the word prepare. It's bold. Prepare. And you should have underlined already the word pre, the section of the word pre. Prepare means to get ready. So before you do something, you get ready. The next word I want you to find in this sort is the word predict. Predict. And pre should be underlined. Predict. When you predict something, it means you tell in advance, you tell before, right? When you predict in a book, you make a guess before it happens. Now go ahead and find the word preface. Preface. It looks like preface. It's actually called preface, and it means to say something before. It's kind of like predict. You kind of speak about it before it happens. The next word I want you to find is prehistoric. You may have heard this word, but you might not know what it means. It's prehistoric. Prehistoric. And you should have underlined the word, the part pre. Prehistoric means, prehistoric refers to a time period before anything that was recorded in history. So before history. So historic is history, pre is before, so it means before history. The next word I want you to find is precede. 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 And the pre should be underlined. Whoopsie. Precede. Precede means to go or to come before you do something. So to go or to come before, because pre is before. The next word I want you to find is, how funny is this? Prefix, that's what we're learning about, right? Prefix. Prefix literally means to fix something beforehand. So it's kind of what we're doing with our prefixes. We are changing the meaning before the word, right? A prefix comes before the word, and then we can change the meaning of the word depending upon what prefix is in front of that base word, right? The next word I want you to find is preseason, right? Preseason. The Cubs and the White Sox are in their preseason, right? They're practicing their games before the real season begins. And I want you to look at the next one. I want you to find the word preposition. There's also a word that's called preposition that looks kind of like it in the same spelling, but this word is called preposition. Say that. Preposition. Nice job. This word actually means to position something in advance or beforehand. So to put in a certain position before position. Okay? Preposition. The next word I want you to find is pre-war. This was a new word for me. I had not heard this word before today. Pre-war. And here's the word war. The word pre we know means, correct, before war. That's what it means, before the war. Let's go over our words. We have prepare, predict, preface, prehistoric, precede, prefix, preseason, preposition, and pre-war. The next column is for, F-O-R-E, and this one also means before. I want you to find the word foretell, F-O-R-E-T-E-L-L. It's that helper word in bold. Now, we know what it means to tell, right? You say something. Foretell would mean you tell before. That prefix just changes that meaning. Before tell. Foretell. The next word I want you to find in this column is foreman. F-O-R-E-M-A-N. Foreman. This is a person that's in charge of a group. They're in charge before the men. The next word I want you to find is forward. And another forward is spelled F-O-R-W-A-R-D. And that forward means like to go forward, to walk forward. This forward is a little bit different. This forward means it's usually in a book, this type of forward. It's usually written by someone other than an author in a book. And they kind of give you a little bit about what may be happening in the book, kind of like foretelling a little bit, but it's usually found in a book. The next word I want you to find is forefathers. Forefathers. You may have heard this word, probably not. Forefathers. This word, I want you to take a second and think about what you think the definition of this word might be. This word actually means like your ancestors, your family before you, forefathers. It's not all your fathers. That's just the terminology for it. This is like your ancestors and your family that lived before you or were born before you. The next word I want you to find is foresight. Foresight. F-O-R-E-S-I-G-H-T. Foresight. Foresight. And this simply means to look forward. Before you look, you're looking forward. And the last word in this column is forethought. Forethought. So based on what you know about this prefix for, what do you think that word might mean? I bet you're very close. It means to think of something beforehand, right? If you're planning for a trip, you're kind of thinking a forethought, what you're going to bring with you, what you're going to pack. Forethought. Our next column is post. Now kind of switch gears. This means after. So our other two columns meant before. These two columns mean after. So post. The first helper word I want you to find is postpone. And I bet you've heard this word. If it's raining, you might have to postpone your soccer game, right? Postpone. And this just means to put off until a later time. After, to put off until after. The next helper word in this column is post-war. Remember that word we had in pre-war. This is post-war. So what do you think post-war might mean? You got it. After the war. That's simply what it means. After the war. The next one I want you to find is post-season. Post-season. So pre-season meant before the season. Post-season means after the season. You got it. Nice job. The next word I want you to find is post-date. 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 This word means you might have a letter with a date, and then you might actually date the letter at a later date than today is. So let's say you were going to write a letter today. You would make the date on it later than what today's date is. You post-date it. You make it for a later date than it is today. The next word I want you to find is post-test. Post-test. And this literally just means after the test. So the definition of this word is to kind of look for achievement or successes after your test. So when you take a post-test in math, your teacher looks for, did you know the material? Post-test. After your test, were you able to understand it? And our last column today is after, and this also means after. This word right here is that helper, afternoon. We know the prefix means after, and we know noon means a time, 12 o'clock p.m., right? So this means after 12 o'clock p.m., afternoon. The next word I want you to find is afterward. 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 Now think about it to yourself. What does this word mean? What do you think this means? You got it. It just means a later time, after you do something. The next word I want you to find is afterthought. Look for afterthought. So this is literally just a thought after your original thought. It's an afterthought. It's something that comes after you've done something, like, maybe that wasn't the best idea, right? It's kind of like your afterthought. And the last one I want you to find is aftertaste. Now, I bet you've tasted something that might not taste so great, and then you don't put anything else in your mouth, and you kind of taste that, and you say, ooh, I got this bad taste in my mouth. It's kind of like the aftertaste of whatever you just had. So it's a taste that's in your mouth after you've tasted it. So our prefixes today are pre, for, post, and after. Pre and for mean before. Post and after mean after. I'm going to come around and ask you which two headers mean before and which two headers mean after, so be ready to tell me. Awesome job today, friends. Nice work.